Hello, a Resi Math teacher coming at you from my 4th period accelerated 7th grade math class. We are learning qualitative relationships between our y-axis and our x-axis. And by qualitative, what I mean is it might not necessarily include numbers. Take, for example, this one with item number 1 on tonight's homework. This is distance from home on the y-axis. This is time. It doesn't say in seconds or minutes or anything. It's just time. As time passes, you would go further to the right on your graph. As distance from home increases, you would go further what on your graph? Up. As distance from home gets less and less, you would come back down. Now, do not confuse this with distance overall. This is exactly what it says, distance from home. So guys, doesn't it make sense that I started at point of origin with the beginning line? Because I'm starting at what, class? Home. Now notice the first piece of the line that I am tracing in red. They are going to ask you for the first part of your item on tonight's online homework. Wesley ran in a direction. I can talk. Wesley ran in a direction. You have to choose either away from home or toward home. Guys, since the line is heading upward, he's running what? Away from. So if you want to write yourself a little note, you could write away on this section of your grid. That would help you know what to choose later when I let you begin on your homework. And then blank as he continued in this direction. So guys, we already talked about he was going away from home in my red section. Now in my blue section, they are asking, and then blank as he continued in this direction. Now compare the red line with the blue line. The line that is steeper means he's traveling what? Faster. The line that is less steep means he's traveling what? Slower. Compare the red line and the blue line. Which color line looks faster? Blue. Okay, so for this part, and then blank as he continued in this direction. Are you choosing slowed down or sped up? Sped up. Sped up. You might want to write yourself an abbreviation to remind you, SU, sped up. Do you see how this will help you on your homework in a moment? Next part. He then blank while still continuing blank home. Guys, notice there's no period here, but there is a period here. He then either slowed down or sped up while still continuing blank home. We are now looking at my new red line. So what can you tell you will choose for this part of your question? He then what? Slow down. Excellent, because that line is not as what? Steep. Wouldn't you agree this was kind of a slow line? Then my blue, he went a little faster. Then my newest red, he slowed down a little bit again. It's not as steep. Are you understanding? Steep means what? Faster. Less steep means what? Slower. Excellent. And then we have while still continuing blank home. Now guys, remember the higher he is from the x-axis, the farther distance from his home. The closer he is to the x-axis, the closer he is to his home. And on that item, they are still referring to this red section. So are you going to choose toward or away from home? Say it. Away from. Guys, this is still going away. How can I tell it's still going away? Because my y-axis says distance from home. If distance from home is increasing, then he's further away. Yes? All right, now for the last part. Finally, he headed blank home at a steady pace. And you will notice that last line, which I am now drawing over in red, is it straight or curved? Straight. So we call it a steady rate on his way back home. So, I accidentally gave you the answer. What is the answer choice you should select here? Back toward. Do I have any questions on item number 1? All right, let's go on to item question 2. The graph displays the population of a bacteria in a petri dish Describe the change in population over time. Now, I will ask you this. Is this line indicating an increase in the population or a decrease?
Increase.
Excellent. Is it straight or curved?
Curved.
If it is straight, it is a steady or a constant rate. If it is a curved line, then we will choose, we would say varied. Which of these would be the closest meaning to vary?
Slower.
Okay, we can't pick steady. It was not steady. Were they going slower and slower, or were they going faster and faster?
Faster and faster.
Okay, I would go with faster and faster when I look at that increase on the graph. Do I have any questions on number 2? Okay, you guys are going to kill it in homework tonight. Awesome. Number 3, this question has 2 parts. Ryan's heart rate was steady before exercising. So I have a question right off the bat. Is there any possibility we would choose option A to represent Ryan's heartbeat steady before he exercises? No. He would not even be alive if his heart rate was 0 beats per minute. So you cannot pick a diagram, a graph, where it begins at 0 beats per minute. He's not even alive. So could you possibly pick B?
Yes.
Yes, because his heart rate is actually starting at something. So I'm going to keep that in the running. Could you possibly pick C?
No.
No, because again, he's not alive. Could you possibly choose D? At the moment, yes. We're just looking to make sure he has a heartbeat. That's all we're looking for now. So we have it narrowed down to how many options? 2 options. Let's go back and read those words again. While exercising, his heart rate increased rapidly and then steadied. So is it possible it could be this first beginning?
No.
Increased rapidly and then steadied? Okay, I hear people saying no. Maybe because it doesn't look like it increased very rapidly, does it? Okay, let's see how the rest of it plays out. His heart rate increased rapidly and then steadied. During cool down, his heart rate decreased slowly and then lowered quickly until becoming steady again. So, who agrees that A will work? Wave at me. Who agrees that A will not work? I agree with you. It has too many things not working for it, doesn't it? Okay, let's look at option B. Do we see this time that it did increase drastically right off the bat? Yes. Did it hold steady for a moment over time? Yes. Did it drop gradually and then suddenly and then level off? Yes. What item shall you pick?
B.
On your paper, you may choose B. Do you understand why you will choose B? All right, moving on to the next item. Oh, I want to talk about this one. Do you realize, first of all, this is a consistently varied rate. It's not constant. It's not the same as it goes along. It goes varied rate up, varied rate down, varied rate up, varied rate down, varied rate up, varied rate down. And it never really levels off, does it? No. It never shows a drastic increase. It never shows a gradual increase. And it's all varied rate. Do you understand why you would never choose D for this item? Okay. Let's look at part B. Determine if the graph is linear or nonlinear and where the graph is increasing or decreasing. Guys, I feel like you can determine that on your own later based on what we've already learned. Do we agree? Okay, we're moving on to item 4. For item 4, an oven is being preheated. The temperature starts at 75 degrees Fahrenheit and increases at a constant rate for 8 minutes until it reaches the desired temperature, 350 degrees. Now guys, if you did not preheat the oven, well, in this case, they said the temperature starts at 75 degrees. So probably whatever it was in the room, in the kitchen at that time, right? So could we pick graph A, yes or no? No, why not? Where should the temperature begin? 75, an initial value of 75. Let's look at option B. Is that possible?
No.
No, why not? Because it begins at 50. How about option C?
Yes.
Yes, that is possible. And guys, I don't know if you've learned this before. This little symbol here, I call it Sir Skips a lot. We skipped a lot of numbers from 0 to 50. So never, when you see a skip-a-lot sign, do not think that all your spaces are worth 50. You have to use the 50 to the something to the 100. So what number is that worth? 75. So we agree it might be graph C. Let's check graph D. Does graph D also start at 75?
Yes.
So we have how many options to pick from? 2. So let's read the rest of the clues. Increases at a constant rate for 8 minutes until it reaches the desired temperature 350. So let's study. Let's look at C. Does it increase at a rapid rate for about 8 minutes and reach 350? So far, maybe it is option C. Let's look at option D. Does it also increase at a rapid rate and stop there at 8 minutes at 350? Yes. So it could still be either one. We've got to study the next part of the line. How about for letter C? Let's look back at what the next part is. Then it remains the same temperature for how long? 27 minutes. So if it's going to remain the same temperature, what type of line should we see? Straight out horizontal, straight out horizontal. Hey, I like what they're both doing, but what can help me figure out which one to pick? It says it remains the same temperature for 27 minutes. Well, I think you can math. So if this one started at 8 minutes and stopped at what? 25, did it go for 27 minutes beyond the 8?
No.
Okay, let's check choice D. It started at 8. It went on until it stopped at what? 35. Do you all understand how I can tell this stopped at 35?
Yes.
Anyone not understand how I know that stops at 35? And what is the distance from 8 to 35? It is 27. So which option do you know you must pick? Awesome, darling D. I have one more item to go over. I took a picture of 5 just so you wouldn't think I forgot to talk about it. And guys, is this going to be a steady rate, a steady rate, a steady rate? Yes, all steady rates. Nothing about a variety of rates. But I do want to talk about question 6. Guys, read to me the label on the y-axis. What does it clearly say?
Speed.
Speed. We've been doing distance. Now it says speed. Is it possible for your speed to increase dramatically?
Yes.
Yes. From 0 miles per hour? Is that possible?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. This is showing you how a train traveled. Not where it traveled, not what direction it traveled, but the speed at which it traveled. So at first, its speed did what? Increased in a steady rate. Yes?
Yes.
Okay. What happened to the speed here? Did the train stop moving? No.
The same.
This is not distance. This is speed. So once it reached this level of speed, this is where it has it on what? Cruise control. Are y'all familiar with cruise control? It has it on cruise control. And what does the downward motion all the way down to 0 mean about the train's speed? It means it decreased its speed at a steady rate and came to a stop. Now, here's the tricky part about number 6. They use this as part of the word problem that you should study, and then use this information to determine which of these graphs correctly shows the relationship this time between distance and time. Now, remember, the train did what? It went at a steady, increasing rate of speed, didn't it? Then it stayed at the same rate of speed. Then it slowed down until it stopped. What's another term for when you stop with your speed? Level off. Have you heard the term level off? If you stop at a certain position, you say, and then I leveled off at 0 miles per hour. Okay, so let's take a look at these. Would this make sense for a steady rate of speed and then staying the same if, now let me ask you this, is it possible for the train to create distance, and then take away distance traveled?
No.
No, that's not even possible. Once the timer starts, it's going to create distance. It's not going to uncreate distance. This is like more distance, less distance. More distance, less, like undoing distance. Can you undo distance? No. So for this reason, will you pick A? No, you will not. Please look at choice B. If the train was already going at a certain rate of speed, the beginning is fine. Does this make sense that the train is covering some distance here? Yes. And does it make sense that the train is not covering any distance at all for a long period of time? No. So can we pick B? No. One other thought too. On distance, isn't it undoing the distance when it comes down? Can you undo the distance? No. Even if it's heading back to the station, it doesn't undo the distance total that it traveled to go away and come back, does it? Because again, this is not distance from the train station, it's just overall distance traveled, right? Okay, so look at options C and D. Do you see right away, and I'm not going to tell you this time, do you see right away one of the items that it cannot be?
Yes.
Because it takes away distance? Please don't say it. In a moment, you're going to work on it. At this time, you may open up your online, you may get busy, and yes, there is a part B for that item. And I'm not showing you that. You guys are on your own. Show me what you know. Hope this helps.